Welcome back. I'm Victor Grimm, and I collect the moments when a person's perfect reality shatters into jagged pieces. We live in the era of the perfect image. We filter our faces, we curate our lives, and we believe that we can control exactly what the world sees. We think that by hitting delete or archive, we can make our mistakes vanish into the ether. But we forget that cameras don't just capture what we want them to see. They capture the background, the reflections, the small, inconvenient details that our eyes are too distracted to notice. Today's story is about a man named Arthur. He wasn't a jealous man. He didn't check phones, and he didn't ask questions he didn't want the answers to. He was a professional, a high-end photo editor who spent his days perfecting the memories of others. But when he decided to restore a corrupted cloud backup of his own family vacation, he found more than just recovered pixels. He found a map of a betrayal that had been hiding in plain sight, reflected in the very eyes of the woman he loved. Sit back, let the shadows grow long. Today, we look at the high-definition cost of a lie. Arthur and Elena had been married for 12 years. To the outside world, they were the gold standard. Arthur was a master of post-production, a man who could turn a rainy afternoon into a golden sunset with a few clicks. Elena was a landscape architect, often traveling to remote coastal towns to design gardens for the elite. Their life was a gallery of beautiful moments, framed and hung with precision. 6 months ago, they went on a reconnection trip to a private villa in Amalfi. It was supposed to be the cure for the growing silence in their home. They took hundreds of photos, but upon their return, the memory card from Elena's professional camera suffered a catastrophic failure. The files were corrupted. Elena was devastated, crying over the lost memories of their perfect week. Arthur, seeing her grief, promised he would fix it. He told her it might take months of manual data recovery, but he would bring those moments back. What he didn't tell her was that he finished the recovery in 3 days. It was a rainy Tuesday night in his studio. The house was quiet. Elena was away on a 3-day site visit in Monterey. Arthur finally bypassed the corrupted sectors and opened the first batch of recovered raw files. At first, everything looked normal. Golden hour on the terrace. Elena smiling with a glass of wine. The Mediterranean blue in the background. But Arthur's eyes were trained to see what others missed. He was looking at a high-resolution portrait of Elena sitting at an outdoor cafe. The focus was sharp, so sharp you could see the individual lashes of her eyes. And in the reflection of her dark pupils, Arthur saw something that shouldn't have been there. In the tiny, curved reflection of her eye, he didn't see himself holding the camera. He saw the silhouette of a man sitting across from her, a man wearing a very specific vintage silver watch. Arthur felt a drop of ice-cold adrenaline hit his veins. He remembered that day. He remembered it because he was back at the villa with a migraine, and Elena had gone to the cafe alone to sketch. He didn't stop there. He began to apply his professional tools to the entire batch. He used AI sharpening and forensic zoom on every reflection, windows, polished tabletops, even the chrome of a passing car. The story the photos told was not the one they had lived. In a photo of a sunset reflected in the glass of the balcony door, he saw the man again. This time, the face was clearer. It was Mark, Arthur's own business partner. The man who had stayed back in the city to run the studio while Arthur was away. The betrayal was documented in stunning 45 megapixel clarity. Every lost photo was a record of a secret meeting. Mark hadn't been at the studio. He had been in the villa next door. Arthur sat in the blue light of his monitors for hours. He didn't feel the urge to break things. He felt the urge to edit. He spent the next 2 days working with a cold, surgical precision. He didn't just recover the photos, he enhanced them. He brought the reflections to the foreground. He color graded the betrayal so it was impossible to ignore. Then he did something only a master of digital assets could do. He gained access to Mark's private cloud storage using the studio's administrative bypass, a backdoor they had created for emergencies. Inside, he found the B-side of the vacation. The photos Elena didn't want him to see. The photos where the masks were off. Arthur didn't call a lawyer immediately. He didn't send an angry text. He waited for Elena to come home. On Friday evening, Elena returned, exhausted and missing him. She walked into the living room, and the first thing she noticed was the large 75-inch screen on the wall. It was on, but it was black. "Did you fix them?" she asked, her voice hopeful. "The Amalfi photos?" "I did more than fix them, Elena," Arthur said. He was standing by the window, watching the rain. "I saw things I missed the first time. The lighting was revealing." He hit play. It wasn't a slideshow. It was a digital forensic breakdown. The screen showed a photo of her, then zoomed in 400%, 800% into the reflection of her eyes, the polished silver of her watch, the wine glass on the table. In every frame, Mark was there. Elena's face went from pale to a ghostly white. She tried to speak, to offer the "it's not what it looks like" defense, but Arthur hit the next button. The screen displayed Mark's own private photos, synced side by side with hers. The timestamps matched perfectly. The locations were identical. The betrayal was a synchronized masterpiece. "I've already sent the high-res files to Mark's wife," Arthur said, his voice as flat as a dial tone. "And since Mark and I have a morality and conduct clause in our partnership agreement regarding company resources, and he used the company cloud to store these, I've already initiated the buyout. He loses his shares. You lose the gold standard life." He turned to look at her. "You thought the memory card was corrupted, Elena, but it was the only thing in this house that was actually honest." Arthur didn't wait for her to pack. He had already moved her things into the guest room and changed the codes on the studio. He left the slideshow running on a loop in the living room, a high-definition reminder of the life she had edited herself out of. Arthur lived his life in the details. He knew that if you look closely enough at anything, you'll eventually find the flaw. He just didn't expect the flaw to be the foundation of his entire world. We spend so much energy trying to polish our public image, trying to hide our shadows in the corrupted folders of our minds. But we live in a world that never truly forgets. Every lens is a witness. Every reflection is a confession. You can delete the file, but you can't delete the truth that the censor already felt. Elena's mistake wasn't the affair. It wasn't even the corrupted card. Her mistake was forgetting that she was married to a man who was paid to see exactly what people try to hide. I'm Victor Grimm. If you've ever seen something in the background of a photo that changed your life, tell me your story in the comments. I'm always expanding the collection. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You don't want to be the only one who doesn't see what's hiding in the frame. Watch the reflections. They see more than you do. Until next time.